Welcome to another episode of Stacking Triggers. I'm Bill, and I've been filing homeowners insurance claims all week. Dan, how have you been?
Not filing homeowners insurance claims all week because I have renters insurance.
Well, hopefully you don't have to be filing any of those. I had a dishwasher break.
What happened to your wife?
Oh, no.
Fucking got her!
Yeah, she started the dishwasher and left to pick up the kid from school. I know, it's funny.
It's
very meta, but she started the dishwasher to go get the kid, and then went to get the kid from school. And then for 20 minutes, water was pouring out of the back of the dishwasher.
What the fuck
20
happened?
minutes. I don't know. We haven't pulled the dishwasher out yet, but we have had emergency cleanup crews here since Monday.
That's
drying
crazy.
The house out. Yeah,
that's actually crazy.
Yeah, it got my kitchen, it got my dining room, and the basement.
Oh yeah, the basement's fucked. The basement's just like
it was like a rain. It was like it was raining in the basement when we went and checked on it. Yeah. So I'm getting a new kitchen via homeowners insurance.
Nice.
But also there's at least 8 fans, like industrial fans downstairs. Two very large dehumidifiers that like raise the temperature of the room to 87 degrees.
Sure. No humidity can exist at 87 degrees, as you know.
And they like infection tented, like, you know, like the infection.
Oh, so your basement's like quarantined?
It's not just my basement. It's my kitchen. It's my dining room. It's the basement. It's like quarantined off.
So you've been
we've been eating fast food all week.
Yeah.
But you know, I still got to wheel and deal and get some magic cards this week.
Nice. You know, because what's better than fixing your house is buying magic cards.
It was my stress relief this week. Dan, how have you been? Did you get to play any Magic this week?
I played a little bit of Modern this week. I played a little bit of Teamer Adventures. It went
as expected.
No, it's just, I think the deck's fine. My hits off of like Seek the Beast Questing Druid. One time I hit double counterspell off of Seek the Beast Questing Druid, and I'm just like, the fuck is this? And I'm like, actual factual counterspell, not like, you know, spell pierce plus spell snare. No. Actual factual counterspell. When I'm just like playing it for value end of turn to go into like turn 4 to like look for lands.
Mm-hmm.
You're just sitting there, and it's like, all right, Tron player, you've beaten me because there are 2 of the 3 counterspells that I have. So I must not be playing it right or something. I'm doing something wrong, but like in my head, it's just like value must use now while I have open mana.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you saw my league and how it went when I was
screaming at game 1. I was just like, "You're doing this wrong. You've done everything wrong. Everything's just wrong."
It's not for me. Like, I don't think any of these modern Murktide lists, I don't think any of them are for me.
Oh, you should never play a Murktide list ever in a million. You would hate
unless it's a mono blue Delver list in Legacy.
Yeah,
which
you would have to.
I apparently did good at.
Yeah, but like you would have to play like the Turbo Murktide version, which is just like, I don't give a fuck about countering your shit. I'm just going to play Thought Scours into Considers, into Preordains, and just turbo shit into my graveyard, play big ass Murktides, and then be done with it.
Yeah, that would be me. Which
you could do, but you also would just like auto lose to the 4-color decks because they're just like, oh, you're turboing Murktides, you say. Well, here's Solitude, here's Leyline Binding. Okay, all your threats are gone.
That would suck. But let's see here. So let's see. You, Dan, have betrayed the MTG.
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't betrayed MTG.
No. I'm still playing Magic.
You're not cheating on her
No,
with another card game.
no, because I don't play them on the same day, so therefore I'm not cheating. Yes, what Bill is talking about is I played the One Piece card game. It's One Piece. I like One Piece. One Piece is a fun, good show. Recently getting my wife into it, and yeah,
That
so
poor woman.
it's fine anime. Like, there's no her problem with anime is whenever it gets like mega sexual for no fucking reason. Like that's like awkward. Like, there was what was the show called? High Rise Invasion. There was it's two like schoolgirls in like schoolgirl little outfits, and like the fucking skirt is like mega tiny, and there was one low angle shot from behind where you could see like the formation of their parts. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Not good. Don't like that. I hate that in anime. That prevents me from recommending a lot of anime to people, is being like, well, you got to get around the horniness. You got to get around people drawing that particular kind of shit. And One Piece also has that kind of shit later. So hopefully by the time we get to that stuff, she'll be able to ignore it, because Nami is in a fucking bikini for like half of the show.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. It's to me, isn't it like, or not to me, but isn't it like 1,000 episodes long or something?
Yep. We are at chapter 1097 in the manga, and there's about an episode a chapter.
Okay. And then are you getting her into the TCG as well?
Oh god, no. She doesn't want to play the TCG. She wants to sit at home and do nothing and just watch television. So like, I'm not getting into the trading card game. It's not happening. It just won't happen.
Okay.
But
all right.
So they had a ban announcement this week. And they banned 3 things, as opposed to, no changes, Magic the Gathering. So Giga Chad, One Piece Bandai. Bandai comes in and is like, we're banning 3 things. We're banning a leader, which for those of you who don't know, this is a very quick rundown. It's essentially like Commander, where you have a leader that starts in the battlefield. You get fixed mana each turn, so that part's like Hearthstone, and then you can play characters and all that kind of stuff, which are basically creatures. That's all I'm going to talk about it like with it. But and it also has prizes like Pokemon did.
Dragon Ball Z.
No, Pokemon.
Dragon Ball Z has it too.
I don't believe you. And also, I don't know about that. But Pokemon for sure had prizes. So it's like a combination of Magic, Hearthstone, and Pokemon. So that aside, they banned a card that was going to be in the starter deck that comes out next week.
Oh.
And
oh no, they pulled a Wizards.
They pulled a WotC. Except at no point in their announcement did they go, if you leave the starter deck completely intact, you can use it. Like, the starter deck is legal.
Oh no.
So yeah, there's just going to be an illegal starter deck that people can't play with. Now, of course, apparently Bandai comes in and is a lot more active with their ban lists. Like the new One Piece set comes out in December, and there might be a complete ban list refresh for that format, because they just take a look at, they go at the beginning of format. Okay, here's the problems. Let's address those. And then they revisit like multiple times throughout the format, which is, cool. Yeah. I love that. But yeah, don't ban cards that are going to be an upcoming product.
Unless you have a plan for it.
Right. Like that was just, I just saw that. I was like, how WotC of you, Bandai. Good job.
Do they have like a bunch of different formats, kind of like like Magic, or is it's just one? Okay,
it's just one. Although there's this buddy battle thing, which is essentially a 2-headed giant, I'm guessing. But
that makes sense.
Or not 2-headed giant. It's like 2v. It's a 2v2 format.
Got it.
But I don't know if that's like the most popular format. It's just a format that exists.
Yeah.
It's also a best of one game, so you just play like a best of one game and you're done. No, it's great. It's great. You're not like fucking around being like, all right, let's sideboard, put in the good stuff.
You don't got no sideboard?
You don't got no sideboard. You have 50 cards and that's it.
50.
Well, you're not playing lands.
No more?
There's no lands.
You can't do more than 50?
No, you can't. I don't believe you can do more than 50. I'd have to look at the rule book, but I'm fairly confident it's just 50.
Ah. Okay. That sounds like a game.
It's a game. It's different than Magic, and that's kind of what I wanted out of it. So I'm happy about that.
Something to kind of break up your time with, something that you can play for enjoyment and not for competitiveness. Maybe, I don't know.
A little bit.
All right, perfect. Well, with that all said and done, it seems like though you did play some Magic since this last episode. I think you did a good old RCQ.
Yep, I did an RCQ. Yep, I went 0-2. So wasted my time and everybody else's. 0-2 drop. The Fabled. I played Uwu Control round 1. I won game 1 because of Ragavan. Like Ragavan, I don't know if everyone. Nobody understands this. Ragavan, if you don't understand this, Ragavan's so good. Ragavan is excellent. If you can play Protect the Ragavan, you can just disrupt so much and apply a ton of pressure. And if you can protect the Ragavan while applying additional pressure, you just win.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I won game 1, and then game 2 and 3, I just didn't have anything that did anything. They got to resolve a ring, and in both games, and it's like it's not the worst thing ever. It's when they resolving rings 2 and 3 are when shit gets to be problematic against blue-white control. But there's also just the fact that like I think I got them down to like 2 life in game 2. I was like really close.
Oh,
and it was
man.
like, just need a bolt here. Just need a bolt. Bolt? No. Bolt? No. All right. Well, I'm just dead. But yeah, I haven't played against blue-white control in forever. I don't really know how to sideboard against the matchup because nobody fucking plays it anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of fallen out of favor.
Yeah, it was just kind of like one of those like, I just lost.
Sounds like somebody who didn't check the meta.
They top 8'd, so.
Oh snap! Okay, well.
Yeah, so like it was definitely a meta call of like, hey, nobody's playing Uwu Control, so therefore I'm not gonna worry about anybody.
You say
knowing
Uwu
how to beat it
is making
it's Uwu Control.
Making me lose it.
It's
You're
just
making me lose it.
Blue white UW Uwu. And then in round 2, I played against Cascade Beans. I went 0-2 against that matchup. It was this one was like an actual capable player playing the deck,
yeah,
as opposed to somebody who just like didn't know what they were doing, and also like we're 3 week at this point we're 3 weeks into Cascade Beans, as opposed to like that weekend.
I think it's more than that. At that.
Well, this was like last week that this event was run.
Yeah,
so like it was an additional weekend where people like knew what they were doing with the deck and knew how to mulligan, I guess.
Had some practice.
Yeah, and I didn't get my fabled turn 1 Ragavan into Solitude pitch Leyline Binding like I did in the previous RCQ. That's my favorite. When they Solitude pitch second removal spell, you're just like, hooray. That's one less removal spell I have to fucking worry about. Yeah. So now I can just focus on the beans.
Just focus on the beans.
But yeah, I was still focused on the beans. They never resolve. Like I think they resolved 1 bean in game 2. No, they actually like they I think they resolved a bunch of beans actually in game 2, and it was just like because they drew 3 times. So I'm like, I can't beat this. Like I just lose.
Oh,
I'm Murktide. I don't beat this config. Like I was able to counter first beans, but second beans and third beans and fourth beans, it was just like.
And you probably couldn't get your blood moons fast enough to
I didn't see blood moon, so it was just like I just lose. So it is what it is. But
sounds like you needed a wasteland in the format.
It sounded like we just need to ban beans or something. Because I maintain this. At no point should a card that is inherently designed for you to go -2 with, or I'm sorry, -1 with, at no point should it ever go even or +1 or +2. You should not play a card disadvantage spell and get card advantage out of it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Shouldn't like that. That's the entire definition of card disadvantage is to have it be disadvantageous to you to play it in such a way.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Beans does need to be limited.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if like I don't think Modern does like restricted.
Nope.
Yeah,
And
I
they
think
should.
they either straight up. I don't think they either straight up like because you could play probably one copy of the Bean and be okay.
I'd be fine with it being an even thing. Like if they went even
Yeah.
on Solitude plays or Fury, like Evoke Fury, Evoke Solitude, and like it's not great, but it's like
Yeah.
okay, you had to get this to resolve. You had to get this to stick.
Right. But it's when it's the let me counter your thing and draw 5 spells as well.
Let me
Or drive
remove
5 cards.
Let me remove your threat that is going to kill me. Draw 3 off of it and have an additional removal spell for your threats, and then also have my threats just available off of that. Like it's just like I know every deck for the most part in Modern does something unfair, but it's like to me, if it's unfair, there should be a drawback to it, and I guess the drawback is that you can just get out aggroed, but like also turn 2 Leyline Binding is a thing in this format, and Evoke Solitude is a thing in this format, and Prismatic Ending on a 1 mana play is a thing in this format. All things that the deck does. So it's just built to stop that. And then you're just like, all right, well, it has an early game, it has a mid game, which is playing Beans, and then it survives using other of the removal threats, and then it has a great late game. So like I don't know. Like I don't feel like a deck should be like in Scam still its thing and Beans is whatever, but like I don't feel like a deck should be able to have answers throughout every stage of the game. A deck shouldn't be able to play through every stage of the game and be able to win that stage of the game.
Yeah. I haven't played a game of Modern in weeks, and I feel great.
Well, I'm sure.
I'm sorry. I think that's for me. That's just a toxic format right now, and that's fine. Like that's fine. I don't think it's for me. I've kind of gravitated a little more right now towards Legacy. I'm going to be playing some Pioneer this weekend coming up.
Nice
at SCG Pittsburgh, but that's it. Like I'm just doing me, just having fun.
Yeah. Yeah, Modern's fine. Modern also needs to be fixed in some way, and Wizards needs to address it in some way, and it can't just be through power creep.
Yeah, that's my thought is like, Wizards probably knows that this MH3 is coming out and it's going to like totally rip the format anew. And then we're going to be at this at square one again with MH2.
I just feel like when December 18th rolls around, because I have a feeling that's when the next ban list announcement is gonna hit, and this might be copium, I don't know, but like on December 18th, I feel like something's going to happen where Wizards is like, all right, Pioneer RCs are over, Modern RCQs are over because the season ended on December 3rd or something like that. It's time for a culling, and we need to actually make these formats sustainable for the next period of time. Modern, at least until like for 6 months until MH3 comes out. I don't know. I'm liking Modern less and less every day. I still think it's my favorite format to watch. It is probably my least like of the two of Pioneer and Modern. I hate playing Modern more, but I like watching it more.
I agree. I enjoy watching Modern content. I specifically like watching Aspiring Spike when he's like in that brew phase where he's like coming up with the idea and refining it. But once it's solved, like I kind of don't want to see the deck again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Awesome. Well, I think we, Dan, are finally at the end of Ixalan spoilers.
Yes.
And you have come up with a list, and a lot of the cards that I liked were also on that list. So we're going to use your list
Of course.
of just things to kind of review. With my week being so crazy with homeowners insurance claims. But yeah, let's kind of dig into some spoilers, see what we're looking towards as we round the corner, because pre-release is Friday.
It sure
Friday
is.
the 10th. Is that the 10th? I think it is. Yes, Friday the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing on the list that we have to touch on, because I think it's going to touch the most formats, at least as far as first touch, Molten Collapse.
Yeah.
Let me wait a second and pull that up.
Oh, I haven't.
Okay, that's fantastic, because I did not.
All right, so it is a black and red mana sorcery. Choose one. If you descended this turn, you may choose both instead. Descend, the reminder text is, you descended if a permanent card was put into your graveyard from anywhere else. The options are destroy target creature or planeswalker, destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 1 or less.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, this is probably the card that's going to see the most testing and most play early goings in Ixalan in the constructed formats. Specifically modern, mainly because of Scam.
Yeah. Not to mention they have the fetch lands.
Yes.
So this will trigger off of a fetch land.
Sure will.
This will trigger off of just your Scam being your regular Scam play.
That's true.
Yeah. So right, like you evoke your grief,
mm-hmm.
and then you bring it back. Right, like yeah.
On turn 3 or whatever, or like if you need to evoke Fury on like turn whatever. Although if you're at the point where you're evoking Fury and then on a later turn than 1, like you're probably already pitching this card for Grief or Fury.
It could be for go wide decks though.
Yeah.
Like that's the way I see it. Like, the Fury will maybe ping down 4, but maybe there's that 5th one that you can't just quite get with the Fury pings. And this can take it out.
There's also Murktide. Murktide being an 8/8, the only way you can kill it is with a Terminate, this or Scammed Fury. And that's it. That's the only way you can ever kill an 8/8 Murktide with Scam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yes, the overall issue is this is a power crept Dreadbore. So it's sorcery speed, which you weren't seeing Dreadbore at all in Scam.
Mm-mm.
Because the instant speed removal of Terminate superseded it in every single way. This, however, fixes a lot of bad matchups for Scam. Because this
there's a bad matchup for them.
They have some. We saw Hardened Scales. Like there was a Frank Karsten thing where he gave like win percentage of Hardened Scales over Scam. Although people are somewhat disputing that, and it's like, guys, we need to pick something here. Like, is Frank Karsten right? Is Frank Karsten wrong? Are you wrong? Like, what's going on?
Right.
But this will hit. Just to name a few things: Sigardazade, Colossus Hammer, Hardened Scales, the Ozolith. Like those Hammer and Scales are like the worst matchups for
Walking Ballista, Hangerback Walker.
Well, that's the destroy creature. I'm just talking about like the destroy non-creature, non-land.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So it like the cards that help escalate value against Scam or really anything. Scam now has an answer to, because now before they didn't have like a main deckable answer to that. There was just like, all right, let's hope and pray that this Terminate or this Lightning Bolt we're playing is good enough to slow down our opponent. And it's like, no, it's just not. But like, if you're on the draw and your opponent goes, all right, turn 1 Hardened Scales, turn 2 Ravager, you're just like, cool. Fetch and Molten Collapse, kill Ravager and Hardened Scales. You're just like way ahead.
Yeah. Yep. I agree there.
So, and there's more. There's obviously more examples of the 1 mana non-land non-creature permanent stuff, but yeah, it's that card seems good. Again, I don't know. It's going to come down to how much Scam wants to play against their bad their bad matchups versus their more favorable matchups. Because against blue decks, you want Terminate. Because being
Right.
able to instant speed things against blue decks is much better than having to sorcery speed everything. So it just comes down to, is Murktide kind of being pushed out of the meta? Some people feel it is, some people feel it isn't. I feel like Murktide players are going to play Murktide no matter what. Hi. So,
Yep.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. The testing for it's going to be interesting. It'll probably by the end of December we'll know for sure like what does Scam favor, Terminate or this.
I don't think it's going to do as well as people think it is. I honestly don't. I honestly don't think, because there's a lot of conditioning to it. Granted, those conditions are easy to reach.
Yes.
But you still have to reach the condition, right? Terminate is just do the thing.
Well, in fairness, also, this is just do the thing. It's just, if you want to blow out your opponent, it's do something else
things.
and then do the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just trying to look at some Pioneer decks that are in the top right now, trying to see like what does this hit for the Rakdos decks. Really nothing though.
Yeah,
as far as the second part, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Wait.
I mean, it does something for against Rakdos Sacrifice, like opposing Rakdos Sacrifice matchups. You hit the oven.
Yeah, it hits also enchantments. I thought it was limited for some reason to just artifacts. So
nope.
Yeah, so it's okay, because it'll hit like Oath of Nissa against the Pioneer. It's a meh play.
Yeah, it's
Witch's Ovens though. And
you know what can hit is Legion's Landing for Convoke.
Yeah, and the worst Convoke, it can hit the Legion's Landing. Also, it can hit the Thraben Inspector tokens to turn off Gleeful Demolition. I'm just running through super fast. Nope, doesn't hit Ossification.
Nope. It hits Portable Hole, which is relevant for Rakdos Sacrifice. I think this is more of a in Pioneer. This is more of a Rakdos Sacrifice card than Rakdos
I agree. Yeah, I don't think it's really. I don't know, because we don't have Terminate in Pioneer, right? So.
I don't think so. And if we do, they don't play it. Rakdos Sacrifice is also one of the decks that can for sure play Fatal Push very easily, because it can turn on Revolt relatively easily as well.
Yeah, it's not Pioneer legal, so
yeah. So
this is the first Terminate-ish thing for Pioneer.
Dreadbore is Pioneer legal, and Dreadbore sees no play. I feel like if anything, this is a Rakdos Sacrifice sideboard card.
Okay.
Because you don't need it for everything, but you will need it in some matchups. Like opposing Rakdos Sacrifice, mono white humans having the portable holes, blue-white spirits having portable holes. I think those are relevant because like the portable holes are hitting your ovens most of the time,
or your cats.
But they could hit your cat, but it has to be like specific timing to do that. But most of the time, it's going to hit your ovens, and your oven is your best enabler. The cat is fine, but having the free sack outlet of the oven is way more important.
True. Dan, we got a lot more cards to go through.
We sure do. But like that was the one that I felt like needed to be talked about the most, because I feel like it's going to do the most in it's a potential upgrade to the best deck in the modern format, which like we didn't fucking need. We don't need 2 sets in a row where they get like a marginal upgrade.
Yeah. Let's see here. All right, so Dan, I'm just picking random cards that you have on your list here, because this one I didn't even see this one come across. It's Chupacabra Echo.
All right, so I don't think this card's amazing. I think it's interesting. So If you're aware of Ravenous Chupacabra, this is a spiritual successor to it. Ha ha ha. Chupacabra Echo, 2 black creature, beast horror spirit. That's why I was laughing. Fathomless Descent. When Chupacabra Echo enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent controls gets -X until end of turn, where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. So Ravenous Chupacabra just would outright destroy an opponent's creature. This gives it -X, so this gets around indestructible. It's 4 mana for this. It's a 3/2 body. I don't think this will see play, but this
it's uncommon as well.
This is an upgrade over Ravenous Chupacabra in that it skirts around the indestructible thing.
Yeah, where were you kind of thinking of this would go?
Commander.
Oh, Commander. I could see this being maybe a sideboard card in Standard to get around Atraxa. Is Atraxa indestructible?
I don't believe so. She had a building fall on her, so I don't think so. That's lore. They fucking killed Atraxa with a building.
Sorry, I'm not here for the lore. I'm here for the cards.
I know, but like that's my favorite piece of lore is they kill Atraxa with a building.
Okay, yeah. So Atraxa is Flying Vision, it's Death Touch, and Lifelink. So okay, that's still gonna kill her without you having to actually deal 7 damage.
Yeah.
So and having 7 cards in the graveyard is not that hard of a thing to do.
So also in Limited, which like I normally don't give a shit about, but like I'll talk about it. The gods. Are these gods indestructible? Because that's the thing. I don't
think so.
I don't think so. So like, I think even in Limited, it's weird. It's just one of those things where it's like it can get around the indestructible thing. I don't know how relevant that is. I just thought it was interesting that we have an upgrade to Ravenous Chupacabra in the sense that like, how deep are you going to be on curve on turn 4? How deep on curve are you going to be where you're going to have X number like what's X likely going to be on turn 4?
Yeah. I'm
Commander. I just think it's a commander. I just think it's interesting.
Commander, maybe. I'm trying to think like what else it would be for. Like I'm trying to Scryfall the set right now. Ixalan set. There are 3 cards with the word indestructible on it. The Diamond Pickaxe, the Rampaging Spiketail, and Vanguard of the Rose. And these only give a creature indestructible mostly for a short period of time.
Yeah. So it comes down to how relevant is indestructible in a constructed format. And I currently am unaware of anything being indestructible in a current format.
Also, like, exile effects are way, way better.
Yes.
And way more plentiful, in my opinion.
Yeah. Just thought it was neat.
Cool. Yeah, it's a neat effect. I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere either. Commander.
Yeah, Commander. Let's see here. Let's say Dusk Rose Reliquary.
Dusk Rose Reliquary. All right, so this is a white mana artifact.
That art is sweet.
It is. It's a black heart in a box. 1 white artifact. Just a white mana. Artifact. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice an artifact or a creature. Ward 2. When Dusk Rose Reliquary enters the battlefield, exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls until Dusk Rose Reliquary leaves the battlefield. So, this is Glass Casket, Banishing Light, Portable Hole, but you need to sacrifice a creature or artifact to turn it on, essentially. The Ward 2 is good because this, in the sense of Molten Collapse, now Molten Collapse has to cost 4 for you to play it. what shells this goes in, I'm not sure yet. I don't know if mono white, because like obviously mono white humans in standard and pioneer could use this, because this is an unconditional. We're
Yeah.
removing this fucking thing. Your 4/4, your 4/5, your 5/6 are just removed, and now we can swing more freely.
The only drawback to this I could see, and maybe this is like a later play, but maybe this goes to be like some combination of this and portable hole.
Yes.
Right. So once you get your token producer out there, this helps you.
You make your 1/1 tokens with Adeline into this thing instead, which they can Karn in a Haywire Might, but that's going to cost them 4 mana in total to make that play on that turn.
Yeah.
Beseiju Channel, I believe, will even still cost 4.
Yes. The target. It doesn't matter that it's still the target. Now the only thing is if it says this cannot be countered, is the only way around ward.
And I don't know if that's a thing.
That's not relevant right now, but yeah,
I don't think it is.
I can see it going into the human shell or the uwu spirits.
Uwu spirits could also use it, but the thing is with Uwu spirits is that
they don't make tokens.
They kind of need all their stuff. So that's where I don't see it sticking around. The Uwu, the humans, like the 1-drops on that, which you are likely doing something with, are Hopeful Initiate, Recruitment Officer, and shit. Why can't I remember this? Oh, the deck is right here. Hold on. It is.
Oh, you're talking about 1-drops? The
yes.
Killian guy?
No, not Killian. Dauntless Bodyguard. It's the other, and he's sometimes a 1-drop, sometimes he's not. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, are you really going to start playing Thraben Inspector in that list just to be able to turn that on more easily? I don't think so. Boros Convoke, that's another place where you could actually see that be played. So
you could see that, yeah. Actually, that would push them up, yeah.
Yeah, because you have Thraben Inspector plus Voldaren Epicure plus Ornithopter, like
also your whatchamacallit,
your Gleeful tokens.
Yeah, that's
your Resolute Reinforcement. I could see it. That's actually the other shell I could see.
It's actually probably going to do a lot better in that shell than the humans shell.
Yeah, because with humans, you obviously have low value humans at some points, but like not clearly as much. With the Convoke deck, you will have low value creatures at one point that don't fucking matter.
Yep, agreed. Moving on, we have Get Lost, which is a 1 and a white instant. Destroy target creature, enchantment, or planeswalker. Its controller creates 2 map tokens. And it's a rare.
Yes. Map tokens are artifact tokens that say, pay 1, tap, and sacrifice this artifact. Target creature you control explores. Activate only as a sorcery.
And if I remember correctly, explore is look at the top of the top card. If it's a land card, put it into your hand. If it's not, put a +1/+1 counter on your. They need the reminder text for both.
Right. They need 2 sets of reminder text. They need internal parentheses. You got there. It was put a +1/+1 counter on the creature exploring. And then you may put the card into your graveyard or put it back on the top of your library.
Okay, I couldn't remember that last part. I remembered the token or the +1/+1 counter, but yeah, Watsy.
Mm-hmm.
Just say explore token.
Yeah,
this is what you explore.
Sure. It's yet to be seen how relevant map tokens will be. This is an upgraded version of Thorough Investigation. Is that the one from I think that's the one from Midnight Hunt that is destroy target creature or planeswalker. Its opponent investigates once or twice. I think it might just be once. This is a strict upgrade over that because you can only explore at sorcery speed, as opposed to being able to crack a clue token at any time where you just have 2 mana for free. So yeah, I like this
Adventures
card.
of Adventures of the Forgotten Realms, by the way.
I thought there was art. I thought there was art with Sorin.
Nope. Adventures in the Forgotten Realms is its only printing.
What's the card?
Whenever you attack, investigate. It's an enchantment.
Oh, no. That's not what I'm talking about. Fateful Absence, then.
Oh, yes. That one, yeah.
Yeah, that one's Sorin looking through coffins and shit on that art.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a. I think this is a better version of Fateful Absence because it hits enchantments. Yep. And it requires your opponent to have a creature, and it requires your opponent to activate only at sorcery speed. Now, of course, there's Duskrow's Reliquary, where if your opponent's playing this, you can just sacrifice the map token and use that instead. So, like, there's that seems more like a limited downside than a constructed downside.
Yeah, unless this card just shoots in the other card shoots in popularity,
right?
But yeah, I think that's fine. I definitely think it's a decent removal spell, although I'm never a fan of giving your opponent stuff.
Yeah, well, but
unless it's a tap power token.
Yeah, the tap power stone token is great, but because that can only be used on artifact spells, and like, who the fuck is using that? Yeah. Actually, if you gave your opponent a power stone token, can they activate the map? Can they explore with it?
Yes, it can be used to activate.
The power stone tokens are fucking dog shit now. Get them out.
Alrighty. Next card coming up. I actually saw this one, and I was very thankful that this had a restriction on it. Helping Hand. It's 1 white for a sorcery. Return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. I was so happy they put 3 or less on there, because could you imagine Scam going into Mardu territory?
I would kill myself. I'd be so over it. So obviously Unearth in white to a degree. No cycling, so you can't get around that. But seems good. A lot of people are like, what does this go into? Because this doesn't fix Grease Fang. This doesn't revive your Grease Fangs and allow you to crew with the Grease Fang.
Doesn't is Grease? No,
because Grease Fang it enters the battlefield tapped.
Oh yeah,
and so you can't crew with Grease Fang. So you basically have to get like Asika's Chariot and then crew with the tokens
with the cat tokens. Okay,
right? So it's like you can't Parhelion, you can't Sky Sovereign, that kind of stuff. Like you would immediately
This could just be a limited thing that they printed. I would like to really see kind of what people do with it in other decks, though. Mm-hmm. Like, I think this is limited and standard focused, because this, if you've noticed, all of our removal spells are destroy right now.
Yep.
I don't think we've seen a single exile one yet.
Outside of Duskrow's Reliquary.
Well, right, but you can destroy that.
Eventually.
You pay a lot to destroy
it. Pay a lot.
But it can still be destroyed and you get your thing back. There's nothing here that just exiles it from the game completely yet.
Sure.
Which I think is like a thing with this set, though. They wanted to focus, if I remember hearing like during the preview announcements, they were trying to focus more on like a lot of the creature play and stuff like that. So I don't even think there's a whole lot of counter spells or things like that.
That's why Cavern of Souls is getting reprinted here
in this. Hey,
spoilers for later in the list. Helping Hand is interesting. I don't think we've seen the shell that it belongs in yet. Because if you're playing Mono White Humans, which is mostly under 3, why are you just not playing Extraction Specialist?
Yeah. I think this should go into green-white auras in Modern.
Yeah, maybe.
Because you only have so many threats. right? And so they block or kill your threat somehow. You can now bring it back.
I don't know. That feels super bad because it's just like, yeah, they kill your thing, but it's like if they kill your thing, you're already losing because you've already put a million fucking enchantments or auras on it. So like,
Yeah.
what do you do? Like, what do you do when it comes back? Like, what? Like, you just have it sit there? Like, what are you doing? Are you just hoping and praying that like they killed it before you put anything on it?
Yeah. I don't know. Listen, it was a thought that I had, and I got really excited about it, and then you shot it down, so that's fine.
You're welcome.
Next one, we have a blue enchantment. I'll let you. Deeproot Pilgrimage.
Deeproot Pilgrimage. So this is a 1 and a blue for an enchantment. Whenever one or more non-token merfolk you control become tapped, create a 1/1 blue merfolk creature token with hexproof. So we're getting quite a lot of merfolk in this set. Cavern of Souls is going to be putting in work overtime because we're going to have Simic merfolk for sure. There's definitely some synergies with other merfolk. I'm unaware of them right now, but I know there's merfolk that like you can tap, like for pay mana, tap it, and therefore you can create a 1/1 merfolk token. So there's that. Obviously, also in the modern format, merfolk is still a thing. You can do whatever you want with it. The thing is the 2 slot in that merfolk deck is heavily crowded. And I don't know if you're going to ever play a 2 like this is a 2-drop over like any of your other merfolk when I don't know. It just feels like I'll just wait until turn 3 to do something when you're a creature deck and you kind of need to just win fast with merfolk. I don't know. It's interesting. I know it produces a combo of some kind. So I'm interested to see what's going on with that, but yeah, it's an enchantment.
I've got the combo here.
Okay.
So it's using 2 copies of a card called Kiora's Follower, which is a green and a blue merfolk. Tap, untap another target permanent. So if you have 2 copies,
Mm-hmm.
you can continuously untap them and tap them to go infinitely wide with merfolk.
And they're both green blue.
And yes, they are. Well, it's 2 copies of the same card.
Right. They're right. So you would need 4 mana to go infinite.
You would need 4 mana. Yep.
Oh.
But it's
actually you need 5 mana to go infinite because here's how it goes. Because you go turn 1, who the fuck knows? Turn 2, you go Deeproot Pilgrimage. Turn 3, you go Kiora's Follower. Turn 4, you go Kiora's Follower. And both of those have to live till turn 5. And then on the end of your opponent's turn 5, you just tap and untap, make an infinite number of merfolk tokens, and attack with them.
Or you get some sort of clone effect that gives the creature haste as well.
Yeah, you could do that. But what does that in green and blue?
I don't know. Add red, whatever. Do Kiki Jiki.
No, because then you're definitely on turn 5 where you're doing something.
I don't know. It's a combo. It's there. Do with it what you will. It's Pioneer legal. Go fuck up Pioneer. Let's see here. We have next the Everflowing Well, which is a 2 and a blue legendary artifact. Whenever it enters the battlefield, mill 2 cards, then draw 2 cards. Descend 8. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard, transform the Everflowing Well. Descend is just that, right? It's like there has to be 8 permanent cards in your graveyard.
Yes. Descend, okay. They say the word descend, and then if there's a number after it, that has to be the number of permanents in your graveyard. If it just says descend with no number, it means the act of putting a permanent card into your graveyard.
Okay. Right, permanent card. It has to be a permanent, not just any card. Anyways, it flips into the Myriad pools. Myriad
pools, yep.
Whatever. Tap for a blue legendary artifact land. Whenever you cast a permanent spell using mana produced by the pool, up to one other target permanent you control becomes a copy of that spell until end of turn. So there you go. There's your infinite combo.
Here's where I think it goes in. I think this is a modern card, and it might not even be a modern card, but this is my thought behind it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what deck really would love this card is Underworld Breach. Just the Unfair Breach deck, where it's it's Emery, Grinding Station, Teferi, Breach, and then it has Ragavans. The Ragavans make treasures. So at any point you can go, okay, Emery and also Mox Amber. So at any point you could have fucking Mox Amber become a copy of Grinding Station, and therefore do the Grinding Station thing a million times. You can have a permanent become a copy of Underworld Breach. So your Underworld Breach essentially becomes uncounterable because it's on cast with the mana from the Myriad pools.
Right.
So it becomes a copy on cast. So you, like, all you have to do is just play it. You then have an Underworld Breach in play. So it doesn't even fucking matter if your opponent has something to counter the Underworld Breach. They have to have something to remove the permanent that becomes Underworld Breach.
Right.
Also. So you can do your combo that way too. I'm not saying this is amazing. I'm saying, like, I saw this and went, I wonder if this works in Breach. Breach is not in the greatest of spots right now because of how fragile its hands are to scam. And how bad it is into Leyline Binding Solitude. So it will likely take some kind of modern banlist shuffle to do something with this, but I feel like this is probably a cheeky one of, potentially, possibly two of at some point. I think the overall potential problem with it, though, is its creature and permanent light. Land-wise, you can get there with fetches. You get there with baubles. You can, like, legend rule Mox Ambers a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually after, so it can get to the Descend 8 at some point. Also with Emery Mill and it milling cards itself. Being able to mill what winds up being 6 cards by turn up to 2. Because remember, this is a legendary. What does Mox Amber say? Is it legendary creature or planeswalker?
Yes,
Mox
it's
Amber says
legendary permanent, I think.
No, legendary creatures and planeswalkers you control. So this wouldn't add blue if this is on the battlefield. But, like, you could go Island, Springleaf Drum, or like Island Bobble Amber into Emery, and then, on turn 2 you have enough mana to go into this. So now you have 6 permanents, plus you've probably fetched. So there's a good shot you're flipping this on turn 2 into a thing. So you can start copying permanents as much as you want to.
Yeah. I think it's a little fragile, but it'd be cool to see.
It's, like I said, but Breach overall, Breach combo itself right now is fragile. So, like, again, I think it needs a modern ban list shakeup in order to get back to a level where people will be willing to play Breach. But when that happens, I can see this card being in that deck in some number.
Yeah. Okay, I could see that. I definitely think there'd need to be more permanents though to reliably hit that 8. But
I think the mana base runs I think it's 8 fetches for that mana base at least.
But
So
you'd have to get all 8 into the graveyard.
Well, you have 8 fetches. You have 4 baubles. You have Ragavan, Teferi, Drums, Mox Amber, Emery's. So, like, there's enough Underworld Breaches that you just happen to mill over. So, like, I think there's enough to get there. But I don't know.
All right.
I'd have to theory craft with it, and I don't really feel like theory crafting. Also, there's the wizard version with Rona.
Yeah, I could see the Rona. Yeah, I could see that. I think that one runs more creatures.
Yeah, because it wants to
Yeah,
play Flame of Venor.
right. Perfect. Going on. Keeping moving. Finger guns. Pew pew. Sentinel of the Nameless City. 2 in a green. Creature. Merfolk wizards. Or warrior, not wizard. Merfolk wizard. Scare. I did
You
it
said it
again.
again.
You said wizard
You're
too
welcome.
many times there. Merfolk warrior scout. Vigilance whenever it attack or enters the battlefields or attacks. Create a map token. And it's a 3/4 for 3. So not terrible stats with the vigilance there.
Good stats.
Yeah.
Hey, remember Saren Steelseeker, which I keep wanting to be good, where it says when an artifact enters the battlefield, do a thing.
Yeah.
What that thing is, I never remember because no one remembers what Saren Steelseeker does.
It's almost surveil. It's almost surveil.
Mistype Seeker. I'm pulling it up now. It is when an artifact enters the battlefield under your control. Look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you may reveal it and put it in your hand. If you don't put the card in your hand, you may put it into the graveyard. So, Sentinel, the Nameless City, creates a free token on ETB and attack.
Yep.
So you are continuously triggering this. It's a 3/4, so it doesn't get hit by cut down. It also would require Revolt of Fatal Push. Now, of course, Sarah Steelseeker can be hit by both of those things, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
But we're getting like I feel like we're close to an artifact synergy thing in Pioneer under green, which is the one fucking color I didn't think it would be. Because
I don't know.
That's a combo, like not an infinite combo, but like that's a value engine for sure that you're doing there.
Yeah, I wonder if there'd be a way. I can't remember. Is there a card that from Eldraine that says when a token enters the battlefield, also make a food?
Uh,
I can't remember. I want to say there is.
do you know what color would be in?
No.
All right, well then that's going to take me a bit to find it, but yeah. So we'll see. I'll look at. I'll look to see if it's in green, but yeah, I don't know. It's more hopeful than anything because I do want like an artifact strategy in Pioneer to actually be good, and I feel like we're starting to piece together an artifact strategy within Pioneer, and it's going to center around Saren Steelseeker and Sentinel of the Nameless City.
Okay. I don't know how much we need an artifact strategy in Pioneer, but we could see it. I could see it happening. Just seems to be taking a long time to get there because
Oh, of course.
I think they're trying to be careful because they saw what artifact synergies can do.
So we have Elvish Archivist, which is 1 in a green, Elf Artificer. Whenever one or more artifacts enter the battlefield under your control, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Elvish Archivist. This ability triggers only once each turn. It's a 0/1. I don't think that's it, but like that.
That's
that can
not
be
the
part
one I
of
was
it.
talking about. There's also there's another thing, another green creature. I think it starts as a 1/1, and you put tokens on it as well. It's not the Archivist. It was from a couple sets ago.
I'm looking.
Teething Wormlet. There it is. It was Bro. It was Bro. It's 1 green for a 1/1. Teething Wormlet has Death Touch as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. If this is the first time this ability has resolved this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Teething Wormlet.
So that's your 1 drop.
So,
and then you go Staren
it's a 1 drop.
Steelseeker, and then you go Sentinel of the Nameless City. So
Yeah.
it's there. There's a thing.
Yeah, I'm looking here. I'm trying to see. I could have sworn there was other things like that.
I don't think so. I mean, and if there is, cool.
We
I'm sure
can't
somebody
find
else will find it.
it.
But like, I don't. Again, it's one of those things where it's like
It
I'm
is.
just
Yeah.
hoping that it's a thing that happens. I don't care what color it's in, just so long as it's in a color.
Yep. Got it. All right. You're gonna have to bear with me here.
No, I'm just gonna do it for you. I'm
I'm
just
gonna
gonna do it
butcher
for you.
this
I'm
name.
just gonna do it for you. I'm just going to do it for you.
Just do it for me.
It is Amalia Benavides Aguirre, or Aguirre. I think that's. I literally listened to a fucking YouTube video and I've already forgotten. But like, so her whole thing. She's a white and a black for a legendary creature vampire scout. Ward pay 3 life. When you gain life, she explores. Then destroy all other creatures if its power is exactly 20. This is an infinite combo with Wild Growth Walker from original Ixalan, which is 1 in a green, creature elemental. Whenever a creature you control explores, put a +1/+1 counter on Wild Growth Walker, and you gain 3 life. So it just, infinite until it hits 20 power and toughness, kills everything, and then can swing for 20 and win the game.
And these both are hit by Coco.
Yeah, you can Coco with this.
You know what else would be good with this? I think Siege Rhinos.
No, we're not putting fucking Siege Rhino in this deck.
Why not?
Why? Don't do this.
It's in the colors.
Literally
It's a
do anything
4/5.
else.
It gains life. It gains you life.
No,
It's a thick boy.
No, you want a Coco on turn 4. You don't want to fucking play Siege Rhino on turn 4.
What? You only have 4 copies of Coco.
Who cares? No. No.
You're in the colors, Dan.
No, just play.
You gotta do it.
No, just play cards that are good.
Siege Rhino is good.
No, don't do this. This is a pioneer. This is a pioneer combo. This is nothing else. This will not be in modern, and it's too fragile to be in modern.
Very fragile to be in modern, but I could see that. Yeah, her protection, that Ward pay 3 life, is actually funny.
Well, yeah, you play her first, and that way your opponent can't your opponent has to legitimately consider like bolting or furying or whatever. Like if we're going into modern, sure, but like, yeah, she protects herself. It's 3 life, so like I feel like you're willing to take 3 life to prevent your opponent from winning the game.
Yeah.
Like I almost wish that was a mana ward as opposed to pay 3 life.
I like her showcase art much more than any. I have been so disappointed with the showcase art on this set.
It's fine.
It's not been. It hasn't struck a chord with me like others have.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Now here's one that I saw and I fell in love with. Coming up next, Roaming Throne.
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 mana, artifact creature golem, 4/4, ward 2. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Roaming Throne is the chosen type in addition to its other types. If a triggered ability of another creature you control of the chosen type triggers, it triggers an additional time. So this is, I feel, a top end for humans or spirits in Pioneer.
Yes, it can be. I think it's at most a 2 of in those decks, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I don't think it's something that you want to do more than 2 of.
I'm trying to think what triggered abilities in spirits even exist. Like maybe Spell Queller. I think, I don't know. But this for sure works off of Adeline trigger. This works off of Thalia's Lieutenant trigger. So, both of those good trigger. Oh, it works off of Brutal Cathar trigger. So you can remove two things. So, this is good. I feel like this is good in humans. The problem is the humans creature list is so tight.
Yeah.
Incredibly tight. I don't know how you're fitting this in that deck without like completely destroying some synergy, but
I feel like you're trimming removal.
That's probable.
Because I think that list currently runs for, what's it called? Ossification?
Yeah,
I think it runs at main
ossification
board.
fluctuates. Same with Brutal Cathar. People hate Brutal Cathar. People love Brutal Cathar. People hate Ossification. People love Ossification. So, like, the numbers people play will oscillate because people are.
I would go down
crazy.
to Ossification to put this in, so my Brutal Cathar triggers twice.
I would put this in over a couple copies of Brave the Element. Honestly, you keep in like a copy of Brave, but like, I feel like this goes in over Brave.
I think I only have 2 copies in mine.
And I know people who are like, "Oh, don't play any Brave," and it's like, "What are you talking about?" No, you definitely play.
Brave the Elements is.
You play some number of Brave. Yep,
that's how you win against mono green. That's how you win against mono green.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely going to be fun. I could even see this in Pioneer Merfolk or Modern Merfolk. Getting double tide shaper.
That seems so bad.
You think so?
That seems awful. If that's what you want to do with it, fine. Like
to
like Merfolk Trickster. Is that the other thing you're doing? Like, what are you talking about?
I don't know. Whatever.
It just seems so bad.
It's bad.
I think this is in humans. I think people are going to test. I think I'm going to test this in humans.
I would. Yeah, I'm going
to test this in humans. I don't know where else people are going to test this. I don't think there are any other creature based or like
go to test it in humans. I'm going to test it in human in standard too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Like that's not even the question.
Yep, especially because their mana base has more lands to support it.
And then is Azorius Soldiers? Like Soldiers is a creature type.
Soldiers is a current deck.
But what is in Soldiers? Because I don't know what's in Soldiers.
I don't remember. It's a triggered ability?
Yep.
I think there's a bunch of pump stuff when you go to combat and certain things attack.
All right, well then there you go. You have a top end for that.
Yep. Cool stuff. Fun card. Oh gosh. Okay. Currently pre-sales for $16 on TCG Player.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that will come down, but like that's crazy. Is that a rare?
It is a rare.
Okay, well then
you can't tell though because the set
symbol sucks.
Terrible. All right, I'm going to jump to the bottom of the list here. Go to Souls of the Lost.
Yep.
This is a Goyf in disguise.
Sure is.
It's 1 in a black creature spirit star +1 for toughness. As an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card or sacrifice a permanent. Souls of the Lost power is equal to the number of permanent cards in your graveyard, and its toughness is equal to that number +1. So this is a black Goyf.
Yep.
Except it's permanent and not permanent types.
Yeah. So this immediately goes into Abzan Greasefang.
Yeah. Yeah. This is an alternate threat.
Yes. Yeah. Being able to discard a card so you can discard your Parhelion is good, or your Seeka's Chariot is good, or your Sky Sovereign is good. Or really anything to get a permanent card in the graveyard, because you're really only playing permanents. Like you'll play Witherbloom Command just to mill yourself and like remove a threat. But outside of that, yeah, this is going into Abzan Greasefang, and this is going to This isn't going to trim a color, which is the ultimate flaw of the deck. In it, what it really truly needs more than anything is to trim a color. I think any deck that is 3 colors in Pioneer is next to worthless, and you shouldn't be playing it. Because the mana bases are so fucking terrible in Pioneer. They're terrible even for 2 color. I can't imagine suffering for 3 color.
This is insane. Like, okay, I forgot that lands are permanent.
Mm-hmm.
So you're only in the Abzan Griefsfang in their main board. There's only 16 spells that are not a permanent.
Witherbloom Command,
Grizzly Savage, Collective Brutality, Traverse the Underwall, Thought Sneeze,
yep,
whatever, Fatal Push, and
Fatal
Duress.
Push is correct. It's definitely going to go into Abzan Griefsfang. There might also be like another, Descend shell that it goes into. I'm excited for it. I think it's interesting. This is the Tarmogoyf we were asking for in Pioneer. Give us actual Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, I think this replaces the Rafine's Informant, in all honesty.
No.
When Rafine's Informant, when it enters the battlefield, it connives. That's all it does. It discards a card.
Yeah.
Well,
it draws a card and then discards it. So you get a card deeper in your deck and still enable your strategy. I mean, it might, but I feel like drawing the additional card is also useful.
That could be. Whatever.
I don't know. This is not going to solve Griefsfang. This actually might solve a little bit of Griefsfang's problems in that it is an additional threat outside of Parhelion and Asika's Chariot.
It'd be nice if it had a keyword.
If it had a menace, that'd be great. That would actually make it insane. But it's a threat outside of those 2 cards, which the deck needs, because if it doesn't ever pitch those cards, or if it doesn't get to Griefsfang, it's just kind of like, I just sit here and do nothing.
Agreed. Still is weak to the Black Enchantment that kills the graveyards that I can't
Leyline of the Void.
Leyline of the Void. That's it. Next card on our list, Echoing Deeps. Echoing Deeps. What a weird name. It's a land cave. You may have Echoing Deeps enter the battlefield tapped as a copy of any land card in a graveyard.
Yep.
Except it's a cave in addition to its other types. Tap and add a colorless.
Mm-hmm.
So it either taps as a colorless or it's whatever magic land you pick.
Pioneer, potentially Lotus Field. I don't know how Lotus Field is getting into your graveyard, but if it is,
could be like Field of Ruin,
hexproof.
Somebody Shadow Spear prevents hexproof. Whatever.
Yeah,
there's less.
There's
less steps there.
And they could spend a total of 4 mana to remove your. Actually, that's actually a good play. Is to pay 4 mana to remove the Lotus Field.
Yeah. But it's interesting. You and I talked a little bit earlier about possibly like doing like a Merit Lidge thing, but we did notice it says as it enters the battlefield, so you'd probably still get all the tokens on there.
That is correct.
So not as good as I first thought. But still, if you have an abusive land that you want to take advantage of,
you could have it enter the battlefield as a copy of Field of Ruin.
As a copy of another fetch land.
Go 12 Panza, because there's also a destroy. Where is it? There's another There's another cave. Yep, Promising Vein. It's a cave. You can tap it to add a colorless, or you can pay 1, sacrifice Promising Vein, search your library for a basic land card. Oh, what is it? Volatile Fault. Okay, same thing. Pay 1, sacrifice a fault. Destroy target non-basic land an opponent controls. That player may search the library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. You create a treasure token. So we're currently actually in 12. We're in 12 land destruction format because Demolition Field, Field of Ruin, and that are going to be in standard. So you can play Ponza. You can legitimately play standard Ponza.
And you know what's funny, Dan? There's a lot of 4 or 5 color decks running around.
Oh, there sure is. This is perfect for that.
And a lot of them don't run basics.
Yeah, they have 1 or 2 basics, and that's about it. So yeah, Ponza's back on the menu.
Let's break it for the next round of RCQs. Just run land destruction. Everybody's mad except us.
Yeah.
And then this lets you copy their land. So that way you can make all the mana you need.
Yeah. You could you could get like a Nykthos. You could copy like a Nykthos.
Oh, that'd be spicy.
Is it your land or is it yours or theirs?
A graveyard.
A graveyard, yeah. So you could like copy their Nykthos, and then if you're like in a different, like whatever color you're in, you're just like, let's make a million of this mana. All right.
Perfect. Next, we are going to go over the Restless Lands as soon as I can.
All right, so there's a Restless Anchorage, Restless Prairie, Restless Reef, Restless Ridgeline, and Restless Vents. All of them
manlands.
They are manlands. They turn into creatures. So Anchorage becomes a 2/3 white and blue bird with flying, and whenever it attacks, create a map token. Boo. Restless Prairie becomes a 3/3 green and white llama. When it attacks other creatures you control, get +1/+1 until end of turn. It's not bad.
I like the llama.
Restless Reef, pay 4 mana, becomes a blue-black shark with Death Touch. They gave it a keyword?
And the llama doesn't have a keyword.
The llama doesn't have a keyword? Whenever Restless Reef attacks, target player mills 4 cards. So just to talk about that really quickly, it could go in Pioneer Mill, could go in Modern Mill.
That's a lot to activate, though.
Yeah, and also, well, eventually Mill runs out of steam, but also you could target yourself, so you can hit your Descend goals with that.
True.
Restless Ridgeline becomes a 3/4 red-green dinosaur with no keyword for 4 mana. When it attacks another target creature, attacking creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn and untap that creature. So you give a thing pseudo vigilance plus an additional 2 power. Really wish this had some form of evasion. Like I would rather this be like 3/4 with trample and then gives target attacking creature +1 in trample.
Yeah.
Because, like, that feels not as good compared to Restless Reef, which has Death Touch, or Restless Anchorage, which has Flying, or Restless Prairie, which is an Anthem effect. And then you have Restless Vents, which is create a 2/3 black insect creature token with Menace. Relevant keyword.
Pretty good there.
When it discard a card if you do draw a card. You may discard a card if you draw a card. So, like, all of them do something relevant. I wish Restless Ridgeline was a bit better. I wish Restless Anchorage gave you something other than a fucking map token.
It's fine.
I mean, yeah, but I wish it gave, like, all the other stuff does something somewhat relevant towards advancing a board state. All you're doing is adding a map token, which, like, I guess you could explore with the Restless Anchorage, but, like, why would you fucking do that?
Because it's flying, and flying wins games. I don't know.
It just seems bad.
And let's see here. Yeah, manlands always good to see. They typically always do really well as far as constructed for like standard too.
Yeah, the only issue with these is they always enter the battlefield tapped, so you're looking to play this on turn 1 more than anything else. The AFR lands are still the best man lands outside of Mutafault because they can enter the battlefield untapped at some point.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm just trying to find your other lands here because the other set of lands is Discover lands,
Yep.
and these are. Oh, okay. Yep. It's hidden something. So it's hidden cataract. Cataract, hidden courtyard, hidden necropolis, hidden nursery, and hidden volcano.
Mm-hmm.
And they are all cave lands that enter the battlefield tapped. I think they're common.
They are common. Yes, they are common.
Okay. It's weird because it's
L is common. If they have a rarity outside of L, it is that rarity.
Okay. Wizards, get your stuff together.
It is together. I just explained to you what the concept is.
It doesn't match the rest of everything. Anyways, okay, so they all have the same ability. And they all enter tap, but the ability is 4 and whatever that color is. So if it taps for blue, it's 4 and a blue. If it's red, it's 4 and tap for a red. Sacrifice said land, discover 4, activate only as a sorcery. Exile cards from the top of your library. Oh, this is Cascade, right? Discover is now Cascade-ish. Exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card with the mana value of 4 or less. Cast it without paying its mana cost, or put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. So this is in case Dan hits two counter spells in a row. He can put one in the hand and not worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. I can put my counter spell. Yeah. So it's fixed Cascade in that like it's trying to incentivize people to play. And this is discover. You can discover from multiple values. There's different discover values throughout the set. I think the lowest is 4 though, which is great because then that really restricts people from trying to discover into rhinos or beanstalks or whatever. Because now like their plays are like turns behind as opposed to like it's turn 3 and I'm able to cascade into my beans or my rhinos. Now they have to do it on like turn 5, which like that's actually it's 6 mana. It's technically 6 mana to discover 4 because you're paying 5 mana and then tapping that land and sacrificing it.
Oh, yep.
So yeah, Discover is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be bigger in limited play and likely somewhat in standard. But I don't know.
Discover
in Pioneer
4
or Cascade.
Discover 4 hits
Modern.
your hits Shieldred's.
It does.
Fun fact.
You can play Shieldred off of this.
You can. Wouldn't you love to cheat in a Shieldred?
I mean, you're cheating it for 6 mana, so like.
Yeah, but if Shieldred's the worst you get off of your Discover 4.
Well, I mean, you could get worse. You could get like a 1 mana card. And you're just like, I just paid 6 mana to find a 1 mana card, put it in my hand because I can't use it right now.
I'm sure there's a way to break this.
There might be.
I'm just trying to see too, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe they make an appearance in Pauper. I feel like they're too slow right now for Pauper, though. What do you think, Dan? Too slow for Pauper?
For sure. It's turn 6.
Yeah. All right.
Pauper's a turn 2 format.
That's true. And our last kind of card on the list, Cavern of Souls. It's a reprint
into Pioneer.
Reprint into Pioneer. Cavern of Souls. It's a land. As Cavern of Souls enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. You can tap it for a colorless or add 1 mana of any color and spend this mana only to cast a creature spell of the chosen type, and that spell can't be countered. It's good. It's a fantastic reprint. It's a staple in every format for any what's the new word? Kindred deck.
This was likely going to go into Azorius Soldiers in Standard. Although the thing is with Standard and Pioneer, none of them care about counterspells at all. Counterspells are dog shit in Pioneer and Standard.
If you're going against blue white spirits in Pioneer, you have to worry a little bit about them, but not typically.
Yeah, like the counterspells in Standard and Pioneer are fucking terrible. Like they're just dreadful. Like no one even talks about them. Like the best we have is make disappear, and it's just like make mana leak at home.
Yeah. I think where this is really going to shine is just that it's a reprint, right? Right now it's sitting around $40, and that's with a reprint in Double Masters 2022 last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so this, I hope, because it's standard, and I think it's being printed at, is it Mythic or Rare?
I can look really quickly. It is being printed at Mythic.
Mythic, sad. Okay. We should still see a price drop, though.
Yes.
Yeah, so we should see
a fairly heavy one.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see. I'm hoping. I'm not saying it will. I'd like to see this at $15.
So, Liliana of the Veil, which was reprinted on Dominaria United, was also Mythic and dipped to currently it is at $11.
$11 dues.
Yeah, and let me find it on. Let me look at the pricing over the last like 3 years from TCG Player.
Yeah,
market price. So let me just see. I'll have to go back a year. Yeah, at one point, Liliana was about $30 and is now 10 or is 11. So like, and let me go find original ish Liliana of the Veil.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ultimate Masters box topper, Pro Tour promo, all that stuff. That's still a ton of money, but like, Innistrad Liliana of the Veil went from being $60 $50 hairs to down to like $17. So like I'm hoping / expecting that kind of reprint, like that kind of drop for Cavern of Souls. Where Cavern of Souls, I think, was probably closer to $60. I pulled 2 from my Double Masters and got rid of them immediately because I wasn't playing anything in
didn't have any Kindred decks.
Yeah, so like those were. Let me find out here. Yeah, at one point they were about $50. And now they're down to 37. So they already dropped like $15 just because of the reprint. Like the second the reprint was announced, it was like, oh, it dropped from 43. Like it was already going down, but by the time the reprint was announced, it precipitously dropped like $10.
Yeah.
So like I'm expecting something similar to where Cavern of Souls is around $15. Which would be massive for everybody. That is such a boon for everybody in Modern. And actually, I don't know about Legacy. I feel like with Wasteland,
Legacy plays it a little bit. It depends on really what your strategy is. Like right now, there's a big Goblins deck making its way, and it runs Cavern of Souls.
I can see it, but like I'd be worried about Wasteland. I guess.
Listen, if you get to do turn 1 Cavern of Souls on Goblin and you imprint a Chrome Mox and you get to do your thing and you turn 1 speed out of Muxus or whatever, you're golden. Who cares if it gets blown up later?
Sure, you said words.
I said words. Okay, there's 2 other notable reprints.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe a couple more, but two big ones, right? Resplendent Angel.
Yep.
Which was on your list, but also Gishta Sun's Avatar.
Sure. I know about Resplendent Angel. Resplendent Angel was like $30. It's already Pioneer legal. It needed a reprint just for Angels.
Yeah, Gisha's Sun Avatar was. Let me look at. I think it was hovering around $50
Oh my
before
god.
it was announced. Yeah. It's stupid. It's a stupid commander card. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards from the top of your library. Put any number of dinosaur creature cards from among them onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom. It starts out as a 7/6 with Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. It's a stupid card.
Yeah, so market price is around $43 before the reprint was announced. It is now down to $30. So yeah, you're looking at likely another precipitous fall for another card, like
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of reprints.
Get your copy for Commander. I don't ever see this being like a thing, except for maybe in like standard ramp. As a
you
meme?
can cheat this out with. I think you can cheat it out with the Tali.
You'd have to know it's on top, but yes.
Hold on, let me see.
Atali does let you cast it for free.
Atali Primal Conqueror. When it enters the battlefield, each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You may cast any number of spells from among the non-land cards exiled this way. Yeah. So yeah, you could cheat it with Atali.
Yeah. Or you could cheat Atali in with it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's another big reprint that we're seeing. You said the Resplendent Angel. That's actually seen play in Pioneer, right?
Yep. In Angels.
So, yeah. And so that one's a great reprint as well, because I think you said that was also around $30-$40.
Yeah, I haven't looked. I didn't actually look at it, but like I saw it was around $30 now. Resplendent Angel. And according to the trading card game player, it was around $40.
Yeah, I think its original printing was M19.
Yep. And then before the reprint, it was $35. Once the reprint was announced, it's down to $27. So, and I'm seeing like a current direct listing from TCG Player for $18. So yeah, it's already been cut in half in terms of value. Which, like,
Good.
again, which we want these things. We want cheaper cards.
Yeah. Two more minor reprints. Growing Rights of Ixalan. Ixalan. It's an artifact that flips into your Gaia's Cradle at home.
Yep.
And then Treasure Map. That's being reprinted as well.
Yeah, who cares?
It's okay. I know these are more of like commander cards. That's why I'm bringing them up.
Yeah, Growing Rights was $17 before the reprint was announced, and now it's down to like $13. So it's not like it's not like it's doing a ton, but like, you know, it's a reprint.
Yeah, we're trying to see what we can find. Like I think the original printing here of Treasure Map, it has actually gone up. It's up to $3. Yeah.
Well, and also we're still pre-release. Once actual release happens and people start cracking a bunch of a bunch of boosters, that's when prices really drop. It's after release when you buy cards. You do not buy unless you're like attempting to compete in a tournament that day and you need to get these specific cards. You do not buy cards like on pre-release. You buy them at release.
Yeah. Yep. But those are all the cards I think that we wanted to talk about. So
sure is.
Go us. If you made it this far and you're watching us on YouTube, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're not. We really like subscriptions. They really help us out as far as, I think, getting boosted up on views. Like the video, comment on the video. If you don't like the video, give us the thumbs down or tell us what we're doing wrong.
Don't give us the thumbs down. I refuse your thumbs down.
It helps us to know what's going on. But yeah, Dan, on the podcast side, tell them what's going on.
Subscribe, rate, review. find us on any podcast app. And if we're not on podcast app, let us know so we can be on that podcast app.
Perfect. And with that, everybody keep calm and spike on.